starts right here. Press play.
Join me. Together we can rule the galaxy far from the sun.
I am a Jedi, like my father before me.
This is getting out of hand. Now there are two of them.
Hello, space wizards, plastic spacemen, and rebel princesses. This is Todd Hoffman and Trent Hoffman. You're listening to Big T and Little T, a Star Wars podcast. Welcome to episode 240. Today, we're looking at the 6 episodes of the new Disney Plus show, Maul, Shadow Lord. Unfortunately, my little buddy Trent could not join me today, so I'm doing it solo. But we are super excited for the show. The show is amazing. We covered episodes 1 and 2 with Greg from Rebel Base Card a couple weeks ago, and then we got WrestleMania brother that we had Jack and Bobby on, and so we've been behind because they're dropping 2 episodes every week, and it's been a little crazy, but that's okay. So all you need to know is Maul Shadow Lord is like peak animation. But a couple things coming up. I mean, we are in the last day of April as of this recording, and May is coming. So 501st Day is happening tomorrow. And then this weekend, we got Free Comic Book Day. We got May the 4th coming up. And then we are literally 22 days away from Mandalorian Grogu, which finally will get some Star Wars back on the big screen. So that is super cool. So a lot going on there. So Trent and I are doing a troop in Wheaton, Illinois. If you're in the Illinois area, Chicagoland area, we will be trooping on May 2nd, which is a Saturday. And we're going to be in Wheaton at Back Collectibles because it's Free Comic Book Day. Really cool place, really cool location. Going to be some troopers out there. So if you're interested and you're in the Chicagoland area, come say hi. Trent is making his debut as a biker scout, so we're super excited for that. Trying to finish up his crate and all this stuff. Mad Scrabble. I don't know if I'm going to get through it in one day here, but that's okay. So, all right. So, really, Maul Shadow Lord is kind of showing not only his power, but his pain and the kind of the shadow syndicate, if you will, brother. So what's really changed between Maul, between episodes 3 and 4, like if I could sum it down in one sentence, is that he was trying to build something, and then it's turned on its side as the Empire has invaded the planet. I think too, what's really hit emotionally is, again, like both from a Jedi perspective and a Sith perspective, ripping kids from families is probably not the best practice. And we see kind of essentially Palpatine grooming Maul into this killer, but taken away from his brother. We get to see Savage again, which was really cool, and the animation was done so perfect. As far as like Maul looking in the water, seeing his reflection, and he's actually crying. We haven't seen that since Anakin took his first step to the dark side and all the way in Revenge of the Sith. So that was, to me, was just amazing. It was so cool. So, okay. So how would you describe Maul's leadership style at this point? Calculated, chaotic, or something else? I think it's in between. So it's not totally chaotic, but you can definitely see that he could turn it on and off. And what I mean that is like that anger's there, but similar to in the Marvel space with Bruce Banner, one of his famous lines in Avengers is that, I'm always angry, and then he just turns it on and then it becomes Hulk. I think Maul is trying to get Devin, the Jedi Twi'lek, that he's trying to essentially woo away from her Jedi Master, and come follow him. He does both. He kind of just plays it normal and like actually shows somewhat of a compassion, and then there's other times where he just turns it on and is a little bit more feral and a little bit more firm and definitely shows like his controlled anger. And I think it shows that there's multiple, he's not, as Shrek says, he's an onion, and orgs have layers, and that I think Maul definitely has some layers here, and we're getting to see a lot more intimate view than just what we saw on screen in episode 1, which was just a kind of killing machine, and that's something that is kind of really kind of cool. So okay, so do these episodes make Maul more sympathetic or more terrifying? And I kind of have a little bit more sympathy for him as we look into his character a little bit more. I think definitely I don't see it's terrifying. I think it's more sympathetic for me. Is Maul driven more by revenge against Darth Sidious or by his need to control? I think revenge is something that is definitely inherent with Maul. We see that play out with Kenobi as far as just like overall, like, I need to get with Kenobi and make this happen. So I think there's definitely a little bit of that. And then also, I think at this point in what we're seeing with Maul, Shadow Lord, is that it is, it's basically revenge against Darth Sidious. He's taken something away, taken some of his childhood and whatever else, his life basically, and he wants to take control of that with Darth Sidious. That's like his main goal. Like, he's trying to go at it a different way, which I think is intriguing as far as just like making it more of an annoyance and then turning this into more of his empire, which is kind of cool. Is there any scenario where Maul could have turned away from his path? I don't know if Maul could have done that because of just how powerful Darth Sidious is. Again, I think where we kind of leave off in Clone Wars is that he got to Maul by killing Savage and really disregarded him. And now this is Maul saying, I'm not done. I think I got a little bit more left in the tank, and is really trying to establish a crime syndicate, and I think that's pretty cool. How effective is Maul as a crime lord compared to traditional underworld leaders? I kind of, Trent and I just recently watched the Dark Knight, and we just love that Batman, and obviously we love Heath Ledger as the Joker, and Joker's doing the same thing. It's the same kind of thing that Maul is doing, is like, it's more about making a statement. Like, Joker did not care about the money, did not care about the Gotham money that these crime syndicates were working together as. And there's that famous scene where, he's in the pile of cash. He's got a pyramid of cash, and he just burns it all. He really doesn't care about the money. He cares about the statement of that. And I think Maul is similar in the sense of he's not looking for ultimate domination like Darth Sidious wants to control the whole galaxy, which he does for a little bit. But I think, again, Maul's looking more or less as a statement, like, you discarded me, and now I am going to take care of business here and show you that I'm more than just a killing machine. I mean, it's very calculated. It's pretty good. So what does these episodes reveal about the structure of his Shadow Collective? So he's definitely taking out in this a couple episodes. We see that he's taking out the rivals of the Shadow like rivals of gangs, basically, and putting this together. But then when we get to the end of episode 8, we hear a familiar name from Crimson Dawn, which is Dryden Voss. So that is pretty interesting, because we know when we get to Solo that Maul's behind Dryden Voss. So I'm wondering how that plays out, and basically, does Maul strong arm him into relinquishing the Crimson Dawn, which is kind of it's cool. It's cool. Um, what alliance or betrayal stood out the most? I don't know the little dude's name, but he's the other mobster. He's a little blue guy. I should know these species, but there's so many in Star Wars. Sometimes I forget. But basically, you could tell that he's still trying to play the angle. Like he's hanging out. He's kind of like captive under Maul a little bit. I mean, Maul basically says you're free to leave, but he's still got some connections, and I think he's again trying to work with the Empire, which is so weird, like being an informant. And you could see like the Empire is not what you want or the heat you want in this. But I think that's where it feels like maybe if the Empire takes over and snuffs out Maul, that would be a good thing, So does Maul rule through fear, respect, or manipulation? I think it's like kind of all three. There's definitely aspects of that where he can be scary. He can rule by respect, and a little bit of it is manipulation. I think again with the betrayal, we have 3 Mandos that are part of his that are kind of Rune Cast, who's kind of the leader, and she is loyal to Maul, but the other ones want credits. In the end of the episode, we get essentially them escaping, but then the Empire comes down and blows them up. So yeah, the greed, they just wanted the credits, and they got a lot of credits, but then they gonna get blown up. So, what's the most dropping moment for episode 3 to 8? I think it is the flashbacks with Maul and Sidious. I really loved how they did that from an animation perspective, as well as the emotional weight that carries with Maul. I think that it's great. That was super cool. Favorite duel or confrontation? I mean, he basically has Mordok and what they call the Crow, the other Inquisitor. So it's 2 Inquisitors against Maul. Maul's kind of beat up already with his leg, and that they play into that. But man, there is one amazing shot where like the waterfall's happening, and there's like a quick shot of Mordok like sizing up Maul as he's fighting with the Crow. I don't know what it is. It's literally a second, but I had to go back and I pointed out to Trent like, oh, you gotta check this, check this out. And it's just really cool. And I thought that was like a really jaw-dropping moment. And that's my favorite duel and confrontation. I mean, there is Devin is fighting the Mordok, the Inquisitor, on the train, and Maul comes and steps in, which is so cool. And that fight is great too. I mean, it's really cool. The other thing that kind of was surprising for me is like Maul, I think he's using Form 3. Like he's like practicing with his lightsaber, and what you would see a Jedi normally do. We get to see that with Maul, and I thought that was great. Just him, like, again, just focusing on the art of the lightsaber, which is so cool. Okay, was there a scene that felt very classic Star Wars or in tone or style? So it's so funny. There is a part where so the cop got I'm sorry, I don't have everything pulled up, but basically the cop and his son is captured by the Empire and is in essentially the police station. And so the dad is the detective is trying to get to him, and they are able to do that with the help of two boots, two boots. I want to say 2 tubes. That is from Solo, but 2 boots. And this is really cool, is like Trent's like, man, start this kind of speeder chase. So we have a sort of speeder bike or a swoop bike probably. And so we have stormtroopers, swoop bikes, no biker scouts, but that's okay. We got regular stormtroopers on these swoop bikes, and then they're chasing in the speeder. And Trent's like, little T's like, okay, it would be really cool if they had some music right here. And then as soon as he said that, because it was kind of quiet, we're basically, it's more of a like a sound effect kind of thing going on. There's not a lot of dialogue, and then the music drops, and we get into this little speeder chase in the city, and it's a little techno, a little fun. And I'm telling you what, the Kiner music, Kiner brothers are just destroying it. It's great. Are they a father son? They might be, maybe, I can't remember. But the Kiner music is so good, and then you have again. I feel like David Collins, the sound designer, is also just delivering some really great stuff. It's just super super cool. So what themes stand out the most? Power, identity, survival, legacy. It's kind of a little bit of all those things. Maul is showing that he has the power to handle his team, and really really kind of focusing on getting, he's not terribly intimidated by the Empire either, but it is also about survival. So it's kind of like one of those things, like he's not at Grievous level, just like leaving in the first moment where there's some heat on him, but it is super super cool. I think he realizes, okay, I need to have an escape. And again, like he even fake surrenders to the Crow and Mordok, and puts the joke on him. He sees the escape path through the cavern, through the waterfall, and then he basically brings down the house, brings down part of the cavern to collapse it, so he can escape and get out of there, which is pretty impressive, I think. How does this story expand the dark side of the Star Wars universe? I mean, again, we're seeing a different side with a little bit more emotional weight, but that pain is what really drives the dark side of the Force. I don't see Darth Maul going good. I mean, he basically confessed at the end with Obi-Wan and Rebels, which is a super deep moment. Like he's looking for that chosen one to get the Empire and rid the Emperor of his power. And so he sees that can't be him. It's gotta be somebody else. But I really do enjoy just seeing all sides of it. It's not just the anger thing. There's a lot going in there. And I think, again, that's the same thing what drives Darth Vader. Darth Vader is not just anger. I mean, there's disappointment in himself. There's, the loss of Padme and him thinking it was him all the time, and then realizing this whole time it was a lie, and so those are things that play into kind of where the dark side goes and all that kind of stuff. I mean, again, we are seeing, some parallels between Maul and Anakin, very much so in how this is progressing with Maul. But yeah, I just don't think we've seen such an intimate view since Anakin, because we get this watch Anakin rise and fall essentially throughout the Star Wars saga, which is great. Okay, so we're gonna grade the episodes 3 through 8 as a whole, and I would say, I mean, we got some really cool title names. So chapter 3 and 4 dropped on the 13th. So Whispers in the Unknown, and that one was Devin escapes, but is directed to meet Maul. Maul toys with her devotion to Jedi Order, and Lawson invests Varial's dealings with the Pikes. Then we got Chapter 4, Pride and Vengeance. Maul kills the Pike leader, Mar Krim, and installs a loyal replacement. Devian and Daki attempt to alert Lawson, leading to a confrontation with Maul and the Shadow Collective. Chapter 5, The Inquisition, which dropped on April 20th. Imperial forces led by Inquisitor Morak occupy Janix. Maul delays leaving the planet to recruit Devin, while Devin and Daki evade Imperial stormtroopers. They're on the chase. And then Chapter 6, Night of the Hunted, that also dropped on April 20th. Devin, Daki, and Lawson narrowly escape the Imperial forces with Maul's intervention. Marak reports back to his master about Maul and his Jedi presence. Chapter 7 and 8, which dropped April 27th. So Chapter 7 is Call to Oblivion. And that is Maul's pursuit of power and his interaction with Devon and the Shadow Collective. And then Creeping Fear, which is a great, man, that's a great band name right there. Creeping Fear, we get to see, there was bets of like, Morak is like, bowing down to a hologram, and you think, I thought it was Darth Vader or the Grand Inquisitor, which is what we see in Rebels and Obi-Wan, but it was actually the Crow, which is still pretty cool. Again, an Inquisitor, we don't know the hierarchy here, if Vader's involved yet with this, but we know that it's pretty cool with the Inquisitor. So the Creeping Fear was great. So if I had to rate these overall, I mean, honestly, there's not a bad one in this bunch. And if we were doing T's like we usually do, this is definitely 5 T's. Like, this is full blown amazing animation. If you haven't watched it and you're already, I try to keep it a little spoiler free, but there's still little details in here. If you haven't watched it, I mean, it's good on, it is good on the old eyes, ears. It is just, I am so impressed by this animation. Like, I haven't been this impressed with the show since Andor. Andor was the cream of the crop. Rises to the top, brother. And I think Andor and Maul are in that. Maul is in this category from an animation perspective. It's just leaps and bounds over Bad Batch as far as just the animation that they're doing. I feel like Clone Wars was rudimentary and they progressed. When you get to season 7, the last 4 are just masterclass, and then Bad Batch also progresses, and Maul is just delivering, and it's great. It's like I mentioned this before. It's very much like Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse with Miles Davis. The whole Miles Morales, that's a different guy. Miles Morales, that whole animation with Lord and Miller and Sony Pictures. So good. And they're doing a lot of the same advanced techniques I'm seeing. Again, I don't have any animation background. I've just watched a lot of animation, and I just know they're doing great, like, cool backgrounds, like these pastel, like, Maul looks so good on the close-ups. They're just doing a lot of different tricks that I feel are like, it's not your typical like kids animation show. Which is really, really refreshing. It's super cool, what they're doing. And it looks great. So there you have it. So if you haven't seen it, we're already 8 in the hopper. So we got 8 in the hopper. We got 2 more dropping out May the 4th. And I think it's dropping at 12:01. So if you're really early, you can get it right when May the 4th happens. It's very Star Wars, very cool. I'm super excited to see how these two end. But so there you go. It is really, really good. 5 T's for sure. So thanks again, Space Wizards, Plastic Spacemen, and Rebel Princesses, for listening to another episode 240, Big T and Little T, a Star Wars podcast. You can find us on the socials, Big T, Little T Podcast, Instagram, BLILT Podcast on the Twitter and /X, Big T, Little T Podcast.bsky.social on the Blue Sky, and then follow us on Twitch, twitch.tv /Big T, Little T is where you can find us, which is always great to get on here. We got we'll definitely we're trying to get on some kind of rhythm here. We're doing a poor job of it, but we would love to continue to stream and have fun, and just we're enjoying life. So we got stickers. We got some new ones, some fresh stickers. So we want to hear from you. So comment, tweet, rate us on Apple Podcasts, give it a 5-star review on the old Spotify, and you can drop us an email. Big T Little T Podcast @gmail.com. If you drop us a question or give us a rating, we will throw swag into your faces. And that would be super, super cool. So next week, we will be talking about, the old Darth Maul episode 9 and 10. Now, remember, truly wonderful the mind of a child is, and may the Force be with you always. Bye! Bye, 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 bye! Okay, we are recording. What's up, everybody? Oh my gosh, it's been a minute, but we are here. We are here to talk about Shadow Lord, Maul Shadow Lord, if you will. Hello there, Space Wizards, Spacemen. Whoa, let's start that again.